Rich, come and have a seat, mate. Right, so what's this all about? Who are you? Now, you know who I am. I'm you. But how? Through the magic of video editing. Genius. Well, what do you think it was? It was from the future? Okay, fine. Well, what's up? Look, Rich, I am from the future. I'm from your future. Mate, you are a close contact. You're housebound until further notice. What? Who's got COVID? Well, being from the future, at this point, pretty much everyone. But never mind that. I've got a very important message I need to give you. Okay, yeah, go on. What is it? Invest in crypto? Is there a girl I need to avoid? Mate, you need to meet someone to avoid them, you mouth breather. No. The message, and it's vital that you take this on board, you have to be funnier than best on ground. But how? They're literally best on ground, like that's their name. No, never mind the name. Listen, it's still the same old hacks who bob up on a million other shows. All right, fair. Well, any clues on how I should be funnier than them? You got any jokes? All right, yep. What's the difference between an arsonist and Port Adelaide? An arsonist wouldn't waste 5 matches.
Roll up. See the amazing Rich of the AFL Armchair Advisors, his sensible sidekick, Dan, as they present to you the world famous freak that is Desmond Van Bus. Yes, I'm just trying to just inject a bit of pep into it for round 6.
I like it.
Just mixing it up a little.
I like it.
Yeah. No, it is Rich, Armchair Advisors. You know who we are. That's why you're watching. We're coming to you for round 6. We're doing this literally, it's the day after what's been a wonderful Easter Monday's worth of football. We thought we'd just strike while the iron's hot and crank out a round 6 show. Get it ready, get it in the can.
Absolutely.
Because why the hell not?
Well, you just don't know what could happen during the week, mate. Anything can happen.
Mate, call us Ellie Goulding because anything can happen. We're not hanging around. We're in a hot streak and we want to keep it going. I am Rich of the AFL Armchair Advisors and I shall be guiding you, our loyal viewers and listeners on the podcast and on YouTube, through a full 9-game slate of round 6 footballing action. Now, I just could not do this show without my, he's my number one man in life partner, soulmate, bestie, yes. It is Sensible Dan, the stats legend. How are you, Dan?
I'm feeling great, mate. Really good round of football. The mighty Adelaide Crom got a win on the weekend as well, which I was present for.
You Crows fan, eh?
Oh, loosely.
Yeah, right.
Loosely. It was good weekend of footy. Some really good action again. Some really, really terrible umpiring, which we may or may not get to. But overall, feeling great, mate, and I'm ready to get into another show.
Fantastic. And, well, look, if this was the Armchair Advisors Thunderdome, it would not be complete without our own version of Blaster. If you have seen Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is our own in-house Blaster himself. It is Desmond Van Bus, our global field correspondent, who actually has not been earning his money lately. I don't remember the last time he went overseas.
No, well, he has had COVID, which makes it difficult, but... Anyway.
I'll pay it.
Anyway.
How are you, Desi?
I'm excellent. I've spent the day doing some gymnastics, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
I've got a new nickname out in the gymnast groups, and when you're looking like Reddit and in the dark web, and I'm actually called Mr. PMS.
The dark web as well.
Yeah. What does PMS mean, mate?
The Pommel Horse Superstar.
So the P stands for Pom, and the M stands for Mel Horse. Yeah, sure. No, okay.
Yeah.
What? Can you do a flip? Can you do a flip?
I'm just laughing at that last joke. It was actual fun.
Can you do a flip? Can you do a
Yeah, I can
somersault?
flip.
What can you do?
I can flip.
Really?
100%.
I want footage of that. We're going to put footage on the round 7 show. There's going to be footage of this great ape next to me doing an actual flip. It's going in the show.
Mr. PMS.
You've made
The acronym actual lines up too when you think about it.
You have made the punters a promise. And you will deliver.
I can flip.
You will
On the
deliver.
ground.
Mr. Pom Melhorse.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
just a
ground.
dum-dum.
I'll flip on the ground, on the grass.
I just want to see a flip. I want to see
I'll
something
flip. I can flip
acrobatic.
on the grass.
All right, I'm down for that. Let's leap into it. We've got another long weekend of football ahead, and I'm absolutely cheering. These short weeks can stay. They're earning their money at the minute.
Bloody oath.
Hooly dooly. However, it's probably not going to be the greatest weekend for at least one of these two teams, and I think I know who I'm talking about when I say the GWS Giants are hosting the St Kilda Saints Friday night, Manuka Oval, Canberra. It's been a whole year since the Giants have been back there. And, I've got a few thoughts on this one, but let's crack into it with Pom Melhorse, superstar Desmond. What do you reckon about this one, mate? Giants, Saints, what's happening?
I have a pretty short and pretty sweet analysis of this. Giants are absolute trash.
No.
Not playing well. No ticker. No cojones. No, none of these.
No
None of these are
testicles.
dangling off of the mantle at home or in the short. And Saints are on a roll. As we said last week, as we've said ever since round 2, really, Saints have been on a attacking masterclasses. Really, they are putting it on them, and I think they're going to smash the Giants this week. Doesn't matter where. Could be playing anywhere. Could be playing in Fiji. Could be playing in the backyard. It does not matter. Any climate, any weather. 25 plus Saints.
I reckon you'd get bulk people turn up to a game in Fiji.
I reckon you
Imagine
will
the
too.
tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you weren't charging for tickets, just get free entry. Let them through the door.
Beer,
They would love
beer
it.
and carver.
No,
Oh,
I'd
bit of
switch.
carver.
I'd
Yum.
switch
Carver?
Carver.
I'd switch Carlton middies for coconut water.
Yeah, so would I.
You wouldn't switch much for carver. I'll tell you that right now.
I'd switch everything for Carlton middies.
It is not good. Nah, Carlton middies are better.
Right,
They are better.
what do you reckon, Dan? Giants, Saints.
Look, it always pains me, but I agree with everything Mr. Pom put out.
Mr. PMS.
The Giants were just putrid. They hung around in the first half. That third quarter was one of the worst quarters of football I've ever seen from any team ever. Just absolutely disgraceful. 10 goals to 2 in the third term.
Embarrassing.
And
And they're lucky they got those too.
Correct. The big names for the Giants, so Callum Ward, Josh Kelly, Lockie Whitfield, Stephen Cornelio, they had 115 disposals between them and did absolutely nothing with them. It's really hard watching at the moment. Very low pressure numbers. None of them are getting their tackles, especially Cal Ward. I'm surprised that. He's known for being a hard nut and he's just not playing like it. As you said, Saints, absolute domination yet again. They're a very, very good football team. Won the midfield battle easily. They were less than average entering forward 50, but you can't win them all every single week. But yeah, Saints 1-39. I can't tip the Giants with the way they've been playing football.
Does Toby Green
No.
being back invigorate this side?
No,
No.
no,
I think you're right.
because I suspect it'll be precisely one game before he's back on the sidelines again. Mate, the way they're playing, the frustration will set in and he will go Toby Green mode. Simple.
Well, and it's also like if you consider how long it's been since he's played and all the umpiring changes that's happened, he's literally like Encino Man, like when they defrosted Brendan Fraser out of that glacier and he was like, what's a mobile phone? How does that work?
Exactly.
Toby's going to set foot onto the ground. 50.
Yep.
What? 50.
Exactly.
Done.
The umpires think they've seen descent so far.
No.
You ain't seen nothing yet, boys.
No, it's coming. And I agree with you. As soon as he gets onto the field, it's going to be ping-ponging straight back out. Look, yeah, I hate to concur with you and the thing in the corner over there. But, yeah, look, the Saints led
You
the
like
Suns.
concurring with me. It's that.
Well,
That's a bit of a concern.
Mr. PMS to you guys.
Look, a broken clock is still right twice a day. Saints led the Suns, as you mentioned, in every single stat last week except inside 50s and hitouts. Now, who's rucking for the Giants? Is Preuss back?
Yeah, Leon did say he'll
Big
play.
Braden?
But
Well, that's something. But look, it's as long as St Kilda keep putting together these complete team performances, no one's getting over the top. Certainly not a disinterested, disheartened Giants. And everyone's disinterested. I think the mood is set in. I think everyone knows from the bootstrapper all the way up that Leon's out the door. Leon's out the door. So, and they're playing like
they're
it.
not playing for him.
No, they're not playing for him. No, they're not playing for him. So I can't back the
I mean,
Giants.
look, and as much as I have talked a bit of nonsense about Leon Cameron in the past, you can tell when players have given up on a coach. They're like It doesn't cost anything for effort. We say it all the time, pretty much every single week on the podcast. Even if you're not playing good footy, you can still run hard. You can still put the pressure on. They're just not even doing that.
No.
So it's a ticking time bomb.
Anything else? No?
Go Saints.
No, yeah, like that. Now, let's have a look at bets. We have been introduced in the week to a very interesting little app called Multi-Hub. I have been just poring over this thing, having a look. Basically, it's an app that will allow you to compare disposals, goals, and AFL fantasy points from every player in every team across the league. You can compare the pair. It's been super useful. I've been using it as a bit of a reference guide for this week's stats and this week's bets. So let's have a look. So these multis this week, brought to you by the good folk at Multi-Hub. Jump on the App Store for both iTunes and Google.
And if for whatever reason you're not an AFL fan, which is stupid because you're watching this podcast, they do a variety of different sports. So it's not just AFL. You can have a look at NRL. You can have a look at the EPL. You can have a look at basketball. Tons of different stuff. Great app. Get around it. Multi-Hub.
I'm very interested. But using Multi-Hub, I've put together the following selections. Now, look, take these as you like them. You can take all of them. Take the ones you like. Leave the ones you don't, etc., etc. Brad Crouch, 25 disposals. That's fine. Tim Taranto, 25 disposals. That's fine. Regular selections here, but they're regular because they keep coming off, and that's what we like. Cal Ward, 20 disposals for the Giants. He's been pretty regular.
Yep.
The only single goal kicker for these two that I like, A, in terms of likelihood of them getting it, and B, value, is Himmelberg, and even that is short. Harrison Himmelberg at like $1.20 or something like that, but it's a little fluffer. Just chuck it in there. Jack Sinclair to have over 90 AFL fantasy points. Now, that might not be on all apps. Just have a flick through, see what you can find.
Lowest of about 97 this year, I think, from the top of my head. Not a real fantasy buff.
Who is? And Harry Perryman as well for leg number 6 there to have over 80, and he's been averaging in the 87s somewhere in there. To have over 80 fantasy points, throw all of those 6 legs together and it's paying $6.66. The mark of the beast, Desmond.
He.
I like that.
Mr. PMS himself.
Yeah. Shut up. I don't want to hear that name again.
I had Jack Sinclair for 25 plus, $1.67. Jack Hayes for a goal, $1.62. Big Sandful Hayes for a goal. Tom Green for 25 plus disposals, $1.33. And Harry Perryman for 20 plus disposals, not 80 fantasy points, but whack them all together. If he's having 20 disposals, in theory, that's 80 fantasy points.
Look, chuck in a couple of tackles,
Couple of marks.
Kicks a point.
Couple of cheap plus 6s.
He's away. All right, let us be away now to Saturday afternoon at Mars Stadium in the lovely, bright, shiny, sunny shores of Ballarat.
Golden.
They are golden. Golden-skinned folks living in Ballarat, kissed by the sun on a daily basis. Western Bulldogs hosting the Adelaide Crows. Sensible Dan, what's happening here, mate?
The Dogs are winning.
Okay.
Look, they had a big response. They absolutely flogged piss out of the Roos from pillar to post. Obviously, they let the Roos have a bit of a sneak back there in the second quarter, then just pulverised them again. They have a very good track record against the Crows at Mars. It seems to be every time they play at Ballarat, it's against the Crows. And every single time, the Crows get demolished. And
Yes.
even though the Crows are playing better footy this year, I don't think it's going to go any other way this time around. They still need a little bit more from Jamara Ugle-Hagan. He was very quiet again on the weekend, but that's just nitpicking. I liked a lot of what I saw. In terms of the Crows, was really impressed. They managed to curtail Jaden Short very nicely.
And how?
He had a very quiet game. They were very efficient going inside forward 50, which has not been a trademark of theirs for years now.
Sometime, yeah.
But Tex makes a big difference. He makes a big difference.
Are they too reliant on him?
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
He's at 32?
So if he's in the team at the moment, that's okay. They got Thilthorpe to come back in at some point. I don't hate it. Look, in theory, they're probably internally thinking we can push for top 8 here. So if I'm sure they would be. You think they're going to be walking around the complex saying, "Oh, these are lucky wins. We'd be lucky to finish outside the bottom 2." I don't think so. I do not think so. I reckon they think they're a chance.
Interesting.
And
but you should
It's
be.
funny you say that because
if they have to rely on Tex to get there, then so be it.
Yeah.
even a draw against Freo, I think if they drew against Freo, like that was an unreal save. Shout out to round one. But I think they would have been they would be in the top 8. I know it's early days, but if you're around the mark,
Look, it's
they
very
might be,
early
They
days,
might be
but
sniffing their own.
That's just that's what I think.
doo-doo.
I feel like they will be feeling they are a chance to make that top 8. The bottom of the top 8 at the moment is very, very
Wide
murky. It's not a pretty race at the moment. Just to finish, they also won the tackle count, massive against the Tigers, who are renowned for their pressure. And the Tigers really had a good fight back at the start of the third quarter, and the Crows just held them at arm's length.
They said, "Hey, back it up, bro."
And I really like what I saw. I'm still tipping the Dogs 1-39, but I did like what I saw from the Crows.
I'm with you on that. I've got pretty much nothing else to add. It was a cruel and punishing affair from the Dogs. Dogs, just to continue on with what you were saying regarding Ballarat, Dogs have had 5 wins from 7 starts at Ballarat. Adelaide, 2 losses from 2.
Makes sense.
Tells me all I need to know. I think...
Big losses as well. I was actually surprised. It was 49 points and 34 points.
Mm.
I feel like that 49 was almost 100 at some stage.
It should have been
must have
more,
pegged back.
yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but I do distinctly remember sitting there watching and thinking, this is ugly.
Des, I feel like I can read your mind on this one, but I'm going to get your opinion anyways.
There's a
because-
reason I'm wearing the crumb beanie, and it's because next week I will not be wearing the crumb beanie. Well, I probably will, but not in public.
You're a fake fan.
Not in public.
Yeah.
Phony.
Not
what
in
I'm
public. Yeah, well, not for the pod. I'm not going to wear it once they lose by 70 points to the Dogs in Ballarat. Makes me look even more silly. And you know me, I never look silly. So never once in my life have I looked silly. So I've got the Doggies.
I mean,
Doggies are getting up here.
Outside of every waking moment of your existence from birth to this point right now,
No.
yes.
Have you read my shirt yet, boys?
Read it out for the people on the pod.
We're trying to refrain from it, but
Sensible Dan, can you please read my shirt in a sensible voice?
it says on a red background in black bold letters, ask me about my cock. So Des, what's your cock like?
It's pretty clean and
Uncut?
Jeez, we were talking about roosters, I assume.
Yeah.
Of the avian variety.
yeah. I
When I
want
said uncut, I was talking about claws, mate.
Well,
you
cockfighting.
know,
They're dangerous.
I'm
They
a
are.
North Adelaide boy,
true.
so I love the cocks.
Amazing.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, also true.
I love all cocks.
I'm more of a corn jerker myself, but there you go.
Absolutely.
fine,
Let's
that's
finish
fine.
off this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, doggies.
Dogs.
Dogs.
However, how much they want.
Dogs,
It's gonna be unfortunate.
but realistically, like, just have a look. Lynch and Rewalt were too much for Adelaide's backs. Okay, that back line is still young and developing.
I've been impressed with Frampton.
He's been good, but he's been good considering the caliber of bloke that
He's
he is
actually
and
been
he's bringing.
solid. He actually has been
He's been
solid.
a contributor, and
He
that's
has.
all you can
Yep.
ask for. But look, if
better.
Lynch and Rewalt were still too
Well,
much,
clearly.
yeah.
Bets?
Also, well, yeah. Actually,
No,
I've
have
got
you
a
got something
couple.
to add to that?
No. I was just going to say Bailey Smith on fire. Have to give a shout out to the bloke.
Dominating.
$26 Brownlow. If you
Dominating,
back
yes.
that in, let me know.
There's a bet.
Des is calling it.
Stupider bets out there.
There's a bet. I like that. At least you can cash your income,
Next week when he gets
it'll
another
close
3
in.
votes.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
it drops
say,
down to
it'll-
2. Adelaide's forwards won't be locking in the ball, I don't suspect. So have a look at Bailey Dale and Caleb Daniel to stat up. I've said that, but neither of them feature in my little multi here. That's how big of a fan I am of those boys right there. Had a scan through the tables on Multi-Hub, give that a sus, and I'm liking Bailey Smith for 30 disposals, and that was paying something like $1.60 or 70 or something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
He's still
like
paying
that.
$1.35 for 25 I've got here, which is a nice little fluffer. Like, he's going to have 25 easy.
By quarter time, I'd have
Yeah,
thought.
absolutely.
Yeah. So look, Bailey Smith 30 plus, Ben Keys 25 plus. He's been the absolute most focal cog in that Adelaide engine room, and he'll just keep churning. Tom Duday 15 disposals. I think he's going to see a fair bit of it. The dude. Josh Dunkley and Bailey Smith to both have 100 or more fantasy points. Again, it's not an all app, so just have a scout about, but they're paying pretty good odds.
Yep.
So over 100 fantasy points for Smith and Dunkley, and the Bont, anytime goal. He loves it down at Ballarat, and he's just going to keep going on his goal kicking ways.
Absolutely. I had also Tim English for 20 plus disposals. I think he'll do that again. He's had that in 4 or 5 games so far this year. That's $1.87. That's
not
great
bad
value.
from old
Great
Kingy.
value.
And he's gonna run wild.
Because if you watch his game closely, he just runs around and takes cheap +6 marks all the time. He absolutely loves a slut possession. Riley O'Brien's not going to run around the ground with him and do that because he'll be too focused on getting back behind the ball. 20 plus disposals easy.
That's like the Riley O'Brien of 2018.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, lovely.
Beautiful. We've got a game between some cellar dwellers.
The most disappointing game of the week. I'll tell you why after Richie explains.
Do you want tickets?
Nah.
I could conjure up some tickets.
Nah.
I'm thinking of going.
good.
I'm thinking of going.
You enjoy that, mate. I will not be.
No, I'm a sports fan, mate. I don't
I
see
am-
colour. All right.
Right, okay.
I don't see colour.
I'm depressed enough. I don't need to.
depressed
I
enough.
do not need to further that.
Why are you saving them from getting the tarps out again?
Well, by they, he means the Port Adelaide Power, who are hosting the West Coast Eagles at Adelaide Oval, Saturday twilight game. Power looking to get their season up off the canvas. Eagles looking for looking for love and not a best friend, Des.
Well, Des is going to take that segue. Do you know actually Ken Hinkley predicted the 2022 Port Adelaide first 5 rounds? Do you know that? When they beat when he beat us in the showdown, he gave us this one. 0-5, mate. Ken, how did you know? What a Nostradamus. What a Nostradamus, Ken. Maybe he does have a job next week. Well, this is going to turn to this because I will not tip West Coast Eagles, potentially for the rest of the year. They genuinely are what's worse than garbage?
They're just chum.
They are like the water, like when you watch Homer
That's
get
such
the
a good-
garbage out and it
yeah.
goes all over
Yeah.
his slippers. That is the slippers that he squeezes
Bin
out.
juice.
That's it's North Melbourne. That was last year. That's West Coast. They
You do
are
not get
horrendous.
analysis like this on
They
Fox.
are
Sports.
horrendous.
You just don't. You won't get it anywhere.
They're so poor. They're so poor. They don't. They just. It's so funny how a team bring in their like 5th string members that aren't even members of the team, and they are better than their first team players.
Just hold that for a sec. I'm just the mental image of Brownie there going, West Coast Eagles, right? They're just bin juice on Homer Simpson's slippers. Like I'd spit my god.
I'd actually watch it for a time.
I'd love that.
I genuinely
That'd be
would.
Well,
amazing.
they are they not?
I mean, look, to
they're
be
gross.
fair, that is reasonable analysis.
Like, how much did
Such
they
a
lose
fan.
by last week? Let me look. How
Okay.
much did they lose by last week and the week before?
Well,
and how much of an effort did they
Well,
put in?
while you're having a look at that,
Dan.
I'm just going to talk about Port for a second. So that first half last week was as bad as any first half as you'll ever see from any team ever.
Yes.
The second half, as good as any team you'll see ever.
Unbelievable.
It was absolutely unbelievable. I was sitting there on the couch watching them kick goal after goal, and I thought, this is unbelievable. Where has this been for the first 4.5 weeks of the season? That team was borderline unstoppable, and that's an indictment on Carlton. We'll get to them in a second, but they were that close to pulling off one of the greatest comebacks I've
we
ever
did
seen.
anticipate that Port were a little bit of a sleeping giant. Like you can't forget about what they did last year. They were the minor premiers last year. And
They were. And what did I say last week? It would be such a Port Adelaide thing to do, to rock up in Melbourne, no fans, no wines, no Lysette. Everyone expects them to get pumped and just to crunch out a win that they don't deserve and shouldn't get.
But even you wouldn't have tipped them to come from 50
no.
points. Once they got to 50 points, I was thinking this is 100. This has 100 points written all over it. Carlton is not going to let up all
resolve.
day. And it was very good resolve. Look, that's all you can ask for from a team in that position to come back like that. I was genuinely impressed. I'm going to be tipping Port this week.
just think So if Sydney in the first half were 10 goals 10, and they were real poor in front of goals in some instances, it should have been more. Far out. Imagine Port, how they finished last week, that whole last half.
I agree with you.
It could get nasty. It could get really nasty.
It could. I see what you're saying. Sydney have been very efficient going forward, though, and Port haven't. I found it interesting that Port is currently leading the league in tackles at the moment. So that suggests to me that the work rate is better than what we're being told it
result
is.
we're getting, yeah.
If you listen to the fans, they'll just beat up on the players and say that the players aren't working, no work rate, etc. But where did that tackle count come from?
that does tend to happen when you're chasing all day, though.
It is, but you would think that if you... North Melbourne's chasing all day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not leading the league in tackles. Same with West Coast, who were 56-0 against the Swans before they managed to register their first score. No, I think there's more upside to Port than there is downside.
Bin juice might have been being nice to them.
Bin juice would taste good compared to what I watched on the weekend.
Funnily enough, they actually lost every single statistic except tackles against Sydney, which is what happens when you don't have the ball. When you're just chasing all day, it's just disgusting. I do wonder if some of these players are struggling with after effects of COVID, like just how much it is affecting their ability to play football.
Looks like it.
That's interesting.
Because that really is... We rag on the Eagles for being insipid. That was particularly disgusting from them.
They haven't been gelling as a team. How much training time together as a unit these
But
guys
again,
have had?
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Effort costs nothing. And they're not even giving that. And is that because they can't be asked or because they're battling with long-term COVID effects?
I could imagine
Maybe.
it taking a little bit to get back, but still, Still gross to watch.
Possibly.
Port are winning. Port are like lock of the week.
If Port can just get
At
their
home.
if they can just get their accuracy right inside 50, because they're not hitting targets and they're not accurate in front of goal at the minute. If they can just fix up those two things, and I know that's easier said than done because I don't want to dump on Marshall because he's just too easy a target. Irony. But if they can fix those two things up, then they're really going to do some damage. And honestly, if this is a big win, they could rise as high as 14th.
If, to be honest, if Port lose this, they are going to win the because still Oscars themed. They're going to win the Oscar for best musical / comedy, mate. Because that will be the funniest thing ever.
If they lose,
they can't lose this,
mate. If they lose, all bets are off. I tell you what. Speaking of bets, Dan, what are you going?
I have easy layup here. Travis Boak 25+ against that depleted, well, sort of depleted, but just can't be asked Eagles midfield. $1.20. DBJ for 20+. $1.62. Alex Witherden for 20+. $1.25. And Josh Kennedy to kick 2 goals.
Like that.
$1.44.
Yep, he's going to have a favourable matchup.
He will.
I like that a lot from you. That's good from you.
Port, I'm going to have a little punt here. We like head-to-heads. Just Port to win at $1.40. Slap that in your multi. It was like Sydney last week. Oh, man, you're going to be very happy that you did.
$1.40.
The old head-to-heads always just worry me because I feel like as soon as you do that, it's just a hex.
We've been burned one too many times, brother.
$1.40?
No, it's crept into $1.35.
$1.35.
$1.35.
Because Sydney were $1.65 last week and it was disgusting. And I feel like it's just a little... Port in Adelaide, far out. Like, if they lose this...
And like I said, it's backs against the wall. They've got to win this game. They absolutely have to win this game.
Neds have got them at $1.30. So shop around.
What have you got, Rich?
I had the head-to-head as well. I know we've had the fingers burned a billion times, but if you can't lock this in as tip number 1 for this week, you just give up, go home.
Yep.
So Port to win, and I'm so confident in Port that none of my other picks are Port related. So I've got Jeremy McGovern, 20 disposals.
Yep.
Coming back, he feasts against the power all the time. They love spotting him up. Patrick Naish, hardest working man in the West, 20 disposals. Thank you.
God love that man.
Shannon Hearn and Jack Redden, the 2 tried and trusted operators of that West Coast outfit who have played all the way through. 20 disposals for dem lads each. And that's paying about $5.50.
And if you weren't certain on a Port win, just before we move off this game, Luke Shuey today, I don't know if either of you saw this, absolutely said that West Coast are winning this game. Could you kiss that any harder with the kiss of death?
Luke, no, Luke.
That's a loss.
Where did he say that?
Big fat L. What do you mean, where did he say that? Out of his mouth.
What, in an interview?
Yes. No, in his mirror. I was there. West Coast, we're winning this game.
It was a poster on the wall of look. West Coast are winning. We what? Jeez. All right, let's move on to this could be game of the round. I'm really frothing this. I watched this game last year in a pub in Adelaide, and I was on a date, and I literally was like, "Could you just put that to the side for a second, because this is unreal."
Whatever you're giving up is not as good as this.
I remember the game better than the date, and that's saying something. And it is Saturday night at Optus Stadium between Fremantle Dockers and the Carlton Blues.
The Jack Noons Cup.
There is the Jack.
Do you remember this?
Oh, mate, it was phenomenal.
Interestingly, he probably won't be getting a Guernsey in this game.
I wouldn't have thought, no. I wouldn't have thought.
I'm not sold on Carlton yet, boys. I'm just not sold on Carlton. Oh, man. Like, they just have lulls, and it seems to be the third quarter. They've got the third quarter blues. Pun. First pun I've ever done in my life. I'm impressed with that.
You know, punch
Keep
is
moving.
You know, pun is short for punch you in the fucking mouth, right?
No,
you know that, right?
I'll cut to the third quarter. Cut to the chase here. Third quarter's Carlton bad, very very bad. We saw it against Hawthorn. We saw it in the first in the first round again against Richmond as well. They make teams look fantastic in that third quarter. Doesn't matter who it is. We've seen them crunch. Oh, I've had a stutter here. We've seen them crumble.
Oh, that's a first as well. That's the first time I've ever looked stupid on air.
We've seen them crumble to crap teams. Crap teams. And what happened last week in the third quarter? What did Matt Taberner do?
Yep.
What did Tabs do? I was so excited I stumbled thinking about Tabs picking up the whole dock of Fremantle, putting it on his back like Santa, and oh man, he carried him all the way up to the North Pole, mate. They put him in the ground.
That was not bad. That whole thing from Des there was kind of like when Indiana Jones is crossing like a rickety bridge, and he starts out just so confidently at the start, and then he hits the middle and it's just swaying and there's like planks falling out.
In my head I'm going, tapping it,
and
maybe you're
sprinting towards the end. Yeah.
It just makes it. I'm pieced together what you said. I speak fluent Desanese now, and
it's just poor. I think it's poor from Carlton. You've got to be able to put 4 quarters together against good teams. teams, you are going to get exposed, and they should have been exposed last week against Port. Really, Port were the better team in that last half by an absolute mile. But
And that's the second giant scare that Carlton has survived in the last month, and you just haven't seen that from Freo.
It's good they've won, but they are going to get caught out eventually.
In saying that, Freo has only played one of the top 8 so far, which is St Kilda, and do we really know what they are either? If you can only bet who's put in front of you.
True.
But the way they're doing it, I mean, they absolutely ripped the Dons a new butthole on the weekend. Every single statistic, you go through the list, they want everything. Absolutely wiped them off the park. Again, bit of an indictment on where the Dons are at as well at the moment, but it's just super impressive. You're demolishing teams like that.
Like you should.
That is a good football team.
Well, the thing with St Kilda is
they didn't need Matty Tab to go 8 shit, but he did.
He went nuts. Well, the thing with St Kilda is that was the very first 5-goal haul that St Kilda had, and made me go, oh damn. And Freo just had no response to it, and teams aren't. So I think it's more of a tip on St Kilda on their hat than it is on Freo, because they only lost by 2 kicks in the end, and St Kilda have been demolishing teams by these 5-goal hole.
So you think no matter which way this goes, we're going to get a good feel for where these teams are at?
Yep.
They are very much of a muchness.
The gatekeeper game.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's very interesting. I'm going to shamelessly steal a stat that I heard in the week. Apparently Freo have scored something like 188 points from turnovers so far this year, which is something like about 100 points more than the third team on that list.
Pretty reasonable.
So if you cough the ball up, they will make you pay with it.
And Carlton were, when they had those lulls, they're coughing it up, like I just coughed up that analogy before.
Brownie did say this a few weeks ago that Carlton's turnover rate was far too high for a premiership contender. We're about to see if that holds true.
And I genuinely think it's going to cost them. I think Brownie is going to be a bit of a soothsayer on that one. I'm backing Freo at 1-39, although I do note this could go either way. Freo's not really blessed with a tall defence. Curnow and Mackay could do a fair whack of damage. And then Tab, lining up on Wiedering, could be a bit dry down that end.
He's not going to kick 7 this week.
I'll
give you the hot tip. That's a one-time only offer.
It was good to watch last
week.
It
was very good to watch, yeah.
It could come down to a kick after the siren again.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm going to tip the Dockers because I just buy what they're selling a little bit more at the moment. But really, again, 50-50. It really is a 50-50. If the Blues get Cripps back, which is sort of like this at the moment, even if he's only playing at 75%, that's a big piece in their midfield that is already elite. Sam Walsh was back on the weekend. He was absolutely enormous. So
And George Hewitt.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Sublime.
Unbelievable.
He's been great all year.
He has.
Snort Bubble, who are you tipping?
I got Freo.
Yep. Love that.
Bubble.
I think we're...
SB. It's actually
we're all,
Mr.
We could shut up. We are consensual thus far.
Mr. Melhorse. Let's go.
I'm loving that. Now let's look at some bets, gentlemen. Dan,
Yep.
talk to me.
I have Drew Brayshaw for 25 plus. I've got Corey Durden for a goal.
Dirty.
Yeah. He had COVID and came back and jagged one anyway. Doesn't care. Spits in the face of people who want to have COVID.
The Aaron Rodgers of the AFL.
I think Carlito said that once upon a time, didn't he?
Carlito did say that.
George Hewitt for 25 plus.
Yep.
$1.45. And big Drizzy O'Driscoll for 20 plus. $1.80.
Yeah, that's rude, that.
He's had it in 2 games so far, and easy as well, I might add. He just loves sliding up and down the wing.
And I'm very
and
happy
he's
with that.
everywhere, absolutely. So $1.80, that's rude.
Very rude. Big rude to man. I was taking into account the fact that Carlton have lost every single third quarter that they've played this year. Having a look at Fremantle, just to win the third quarter, just by itself, $1.83. Thanks.
Good.
Dink. I love that.
Damn.
So put that together with Zach Fisher, 15 disposals. Thanks. Will Setterfield, 15 disposals. Thanks. Will Brodie, 20 disposals. Thanks. Caleb Sarong, your man, LD, yeah, 20 disposals. Thanks. And George Hewitt, as you said, 25 disposals. A pleasure. Smack all of them together. That's paying mid $7 mark.
Easiest money you'll ever make in your life.
I'd have thought so.
Because that is not falling over.
No, I'd have thought so. All of the falling over gets saved for the individuals, establishments, organisations that we typically start discussing when we do Dummy of the Week.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Dummy of the week.
All right, boys. Yep, it's back. It's back. That's you're a different bloke, aren't you? Different. Now I've got to kick things off. I want to kick things off on a positive note. On a positive note, For the first time ever,
I was going to say, I hear you've got some big news here.
for the first time ever, I'm going to rescind a previously delivered Dummy of the Week.
You're going to undummy a dummy.
You know,
And it's not you.
Oh,
So don't get
That's
too
why I
excited.
was excited.
Nah.
I got to rescind one. Georgie Parker copped a slating from us last week. She did indeed. She
I actually went and had a look at her Instagram profile after we did this.
Yeah.
And her catch line in her little bio is, "Who's Georgie Parker?"
that's
I was like, wow, if you can poke,
Self-referential, I like
if
that.
you can poke fun at yourself, I'll rate that. I'll pay it.
You know, Richie, before you say anything, can I add my little? It's the reason why I've got this.
Yeah, go
this
on.
It's the reason why I've got this
Go on.
this Crom hat on. She actually said "Go Crom."
She did.
She said "Go Crom," and then that made me think that maybe she's not that bad after all.
She could be one of the lads.
So
I
quite,
apologise.
so quite quickly, she's gone from being a
Public enemy.
a scourge to the pod's number one hero.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say number one, but
well,
she's
not Trish Stratus, mate.
she's gone from 15th on the table to nudging 7th.
She said "Go Crom," so that's good enough for me.
She also said if she was CEO of the AFL, that she would ban Never Tear Us Apart from being played
so
Yeah, she
funny.
did.
at Adelaide Oval. And I thought, you know what, I'm rescinding a dummy. That's the best thing I've
She had a
heard.
couple of other suggestions which were terrible.
No, I didn't
I
hear
might
them.
add, but anyway.
No, I'm giving props.
I
Mad respect.
honestly do think that it's a dumb comment, but that is awesome because I hate Port.
Well, it's not a matter of
No,
hating
you
Port.
don't.
It's just
Don't lie to me.
it's just a cringe thing to do, and it's just shamelessly stolen, and they've just adopted it like they've been doing it for the past 50 years.
I get
I
why
just-
I
no.
get why they get around it though.
I
It is
actually-
quite a
no,
good atmosphere.
I actually rate it. Have you ever been to a Port game when they do it?
Yes,
It's good.
It's good. I actually like it.
I was sitting with the Geelong fans in that prelim final, and it was so funny watching those Geelong fans get hey like that, and while
in-
they're singing "Never Tear Us Apart," and it was so funny because I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Look, they've heard that song more often than they've heard their own team song this year. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Now, just a couple of quick ones. The booing of Isaac Smith. All right. Now, anyone
Racist.
that was
Did they say that?
Well, no,
did they say that?
Well, no,
Did
but-
they say
but
that?
Booing is inherently racist.
Did they say that? Imagine booing Isaac Smith is racist. No, look, it's anyone that was on social media that was crying and crabbing about Isaac Smith being booed. Oh, it's not a good look. You grow up. You people need. I saw one genius make the comment that you need to remember that the Hawks moved on Sam Mitchell as well, and he's coaching them now. I think there's a bit of a difference between a bloke actively choosing to leave and then a bloke being moved on by arguably the greatest coach ever to greener pastures. But so we'll put that one to the side. It's all about the theatre of the game. If you can't boo a bloke that gave your team the up and said, "Nah, I'm bailing out, I'm going somewhere else," if you can't boo that bloke, what can you do?
And to be fair, Isaac Smith was laughing. He actually thought
He enjoyed it.
He actually thought it was funny.
Because it is funny.
He just said, "I sat there and enjoyed it."
If you want to see someone that in modern sports history get booed and it is actual gold, watch Trey Young send the Knicks packing, mate.
Ice Trey.
This one, waving him goodbye.
Yeah.
Did the same thing to the Cavs this year in the play-in, mate. If they take away booing in the game, moments like that, those precious waves, it's awesome. It's great to see.
But this is it. And then you take away things like that or you sanitise them down and then people wonder why there's no great rivalries left. You know, you'd never see line in the sand in 2022. It just wouldn't happen. So no, if you boo people for reasons that aren't racial, keep going. You've got an absolute tick in my book. I love it. Keep doing Isaac.
if they're a-holes,
Yeah.
Every
Boom.
sport needs villains.
You need, and every team needs their own villains. Do you know what I mean? No, I liked it. And if you don't like booing, then
boo.
yeah, that'll do. Now, I need to chew through this one because there's been an awful lot of column inches that have been attributed to this in the last couple of days. Gentlemen, boys, it is with great disappointment I must inform you that we've got another Scott brother actively ruining the AFL.
Oh, yeah.
This time from within.
I've actually got this one written down here. So
go away.
No,
Go
no,
for
no,
it.
no, no. I'm happy to let you lead if you want.
No, please. I invite you. I invite you.
You would have seen the Harris Andrews 50-metre decision last week.
Of course.
Gave it this one. That's 50. Arms out. No acceptable levels of dissent. All ticked off by Brad Scott and the Rules Committee as being acceptable. And the ones that didn't get paid, like i.e. George Hewitt, arms out in a demonstrative manner, should have been paid, didn't get paid. Right?
What happens when the coach throws the phone?
What
What happens there?
If he does it at an umpire,
What about
50.
tantrum?
Arms out is not dissent. That is a natural human reaction to any news you receive that you don't like or is not in your favour. You would do that continuously. You would have done that multiple times.
People talk with their hands.
Yep. Exactly. I never agree with Mark Robinson. Famously, all of us disagree with him on just about everything that ever comes out of his mouth. He absolutely hates it, said it is disgraceful, borderline unwatchable. Might as well put 18 robots out there.
Bang on.
Because if you're not letting blokes put their arms out to question a decision, and the Tom Mitchell one on Monday was infuriating.
Oh, it was
Just gonna walk around
horrendous.
like this, though. Just get tackled holding the ball or pushed in the back.
Yeah.
Holding the ball. Apologies.
Okay.
Gary Lyon, another one. We all famously dislike him and everything he says. League has hit crisis, needs a total overhaul. Couldn't agree more.
Bang on.
Right.
Yep, love it.
Even Jared Waitley, famous for slobbing the AFL's proverbial knob, AFL has lost control of the situation.
I saw a bit of Waitley the other night, and he that's as close as he came to criticising the AFL, because I've got him written down here. Jared Waitley, AFL shill are the 4 words I've got written down. Because all he does, if the AFL said it, it must be for the best.
Yep.
And I'm just tired of hearing that
But
chat,
even
Jared.
he can't get on board with this.
And you shouldn't have to. Like there is a difference between being what and the footage of who was that Collingwood bloke?
Brian Taylor.
Well, that, but I was thinking of that Collingwood bloke that went and snotted an umpire that one
Oh,
time.
yeah, they discussed this on the bounce on the weekend. I can't remember what it's called.
Worlds apart.
Yeah.
Worlds apart. And most of the time, if an AFL player, you'll see them, if they're remonstrating and they're angry, half the time they're more angry with themselves for having made a mistake that's now
than the
costing their
umpire.
team than they are you stupid maggot. Blah. You're not seeing that. And how is that going to translate to more umpires at league level?
Do you know what it's honestly going to translate to? More
hatred.
fans hating the umpires.
Exactly.
If players can't show
Correct.
it, the fans will show it.
Absolutely.
I will show it at games because do you know what? I want to do it for players.
All it is doing is the exact opposite of what they've intended it to do. I think the AFL, the mind and the heart is in the right place with the rule. Obviously, it's probably gone too far the other way in recent seasons where blokes are getting stuck back into the umpires again. And
Can't do it.
You don't want to see that, like especially if you want the game to continue growing. Like there has to be some level of respect between the two. Now it's swung way too far in the other direction. It gets called like wildfire in round 1, doesn't get called for rounds 2, 3, and 4. Then it's back on the agenda in round 5 again. Then you wonder why blokes have got no idea what the rules are, why they're getting penalised.
Yep.
The Tom Hawkins one, the Tom Mitchell one, same incident. One of the most blatant dives you'll ever see in your life. Gunston and Mitchell rightly question it, and then they get 50 given against them for questioning the decision.
I will add on to that and ask, how are you going to give umpires respect? How are umpires expecting to receive respect when you've got Tom Hawkins only the week before shoving Andrews as hard as he can in the back and now on our play on nothing to see here? That doesn't deserve respect.
No.
That doesn't deserve respect. I put it to you, I ask you, Desmond, let's say you're a fat-gutted father of some 12-year-old kid who's out playing at, football out in Gippsland, right?
So he's playing himself.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, your 12-year-old kid is out on the
They
field.
do good yoga.
And the umpire pays a free against your boy, right? You decide to fire up. You're swearing at the umpire. You're paying disrespect. Is your behaviour going to change, right? Because in the AFL, they're now paying 50s against remonstrating with the umpires. Are you going to think, actually, no. What they do in the AFL is that they don't like that and they pay 50s. Gee, I'd better stop my behaviour.
Short answer, no. Do you know why? Because it's not the AFL.
Thank you, and that's pretty much it. But look, boys, of course it's going to come from Brad Scott, who deserves the dummy because I don't know if you fellas remember. Back in 2016, Brad Scott got fined $30,000 for accusing umpires of being biased, if we recall. Wasn't that funny, Brad?
And it was a very fair and true comment.
Yeah.
Knob of a bloke. But no, my main dummy of the week this week goes to Sydney Stack.
Oh,
Yeah, no, there's a bit of a surprise. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, we didn't.
No, it's a good one though. It's a good one.
No,
So this
no
was
kebab?
So this was a bloke by the name of and I don't want to hear any laughters at all. This was from a bloke by the name of Nick Negropontis, who was commenting on Twitter. He was at the VFL game.
Yeah.
Lockie Plowman just kicked a 7-metre clanger to Sydney Stack, who thought he'd taken a mark and jogged over the boundary. The umpire paid deliberate out of bounds and then 50 metres for arguing. That is the exact tweet that I need to see on that day. Funny as.
Good one to close out as well.
Thanks, Nick.
Sydney, what a dum-dum. Anyways, let us roll on. It's Brad Scott's boys, the Geelong Cats. Against Tom Hawkins. Yeah. Versus Brad Scott's boys, North Melbourne Kangaroos. He used to coach them.
He did, yeah.
Yes, look, arguably the ugliest game on the slate this round. North Melbourne Kangaroos versus Geelong Cats. Sunday afternoon, Blundstone Arena, Tasmania. Des, go.
Does Tassie make a difference? Can North
Yes.
fire up and give Cats one?
Yes, it makes a difference.
Cats are going to be upset.
Look at that face there. Hold
Cats
that.
are going to be very upset about that loss. That is a big loss. They never like losing to Hawthorn. They never do. And I've been to one of those Easter Monday games, and
Just that
Hawthorn
hair
won
in
that
the
game
tea.
as well. And the response was very funny. The Hawthorn fans were absolutely taking the piss out of the Geelong fans.
Good.
And the Geelong players, they will have a sour taste in their mouth. So I can't see them losing, but I can see it getting hairy. I can see it getting hairy because North are good in Tassie. As much as they play average footy everywhere else, and they showed a little bit of ticker. Here and there.
Read those numbers there, because I know you want to have done the research. Read those numbers there.
17-9 at Blundstone. Cats 1 from 1.
Played there once. 1-1. That's fine.
I got
100%
Cats to
winning
win.
record.
I just think they're a better team, and especially coming after a loss here, they're going to be hungry for a loss. Hungry for a win. Sorry, hungry for a dub.
I think it would be dumb to tip North in this game. I think you'd have to be pretty bold to actually go through with a tip. And I'm going to be tipping the Cats here, but yeah, of course you will. Absolutely. I said you have to be dumb to do it. So, but all you'd really want to see from North in this game is a response like the post-Brisbane game. Just like what they gave to Sydney. Got absolutely rolled. We all thought they were going to get rolled by the Dogs anyway. I don't think that was a surprise to anybody.
No
They
bloke.
fired up, but they come back a little bit though. They
did.
obviously got re-rolled, but
That they did.
still.
You want to see a bit of a response. You want to see them come out, bit of shit on the liver, come out firing, give the Cats a little bit of hell. If they lose by 20 points, that's probably just as good as a win in my book.
I would have thought so. You can expect a very low-scoring, miserly affair. The old wind tunnel is going to be in effect at this particular time of year down in Blundstone. Now, I know you were saying it's a bold man that would tip North, but you probably
I
would
also said it was a dumb man, so
fair. Okay, either which one. Tomato. You probably would have said the same thing in 2017 when the Crows went down there, top of the ladder. North were lurking at the bottom. We all expected to get the easy win, and North beat them off the park in Tasmania.
Crows gave that one to him.
Strongly agree. The Cats won 9 of their last 10 against the Roos. I can't drum up any realistic support for them. If the fact that it's at Blundstone gives them a snowball's chance, realistically, but there's no way the Cats are going to be happy to back up what should have been, and they quietly would have thought there's 4 points in the bank here. They are not coughing up a game against North.
The excuses did start tumbling after the Hawks game, though. Chris Scott came out afterwards.
Umpires?
Yeah, basically,
Biased?
yeah.
Umpires are biased?
Well, we all knew that anyway.
Runs in the family.
Danger got a corky. Cam Guthrie got a corky. I've never
he
heard.
was a bit rough, yeah.
I've never heard of 2-star midfielders getting corkies in the same game. I mean, that would explain why they were both absolute dogs' balls. However, but they also let Hawthorn kick 3 goals before they even had one touch of the football. Des, did you know that? Did you watch the game?
That's poor. I did watch the game.
3 goals before they even had a disposal. That's disgusting.
I love it.
Then they did not kick a goal in the last quarter.
It was very good to watch,
That's
actually.
disgusting.
Good viewing for us.
I enjoyed it. Yep. Geelong, all round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BEA beautiful. Dan, give me some BETZs.
Brad Close.
hectic.
BETZ.
Yeah, bets.
Bets. We're in 2002.
I'm Des.
Bump the mic again.
that-
I'm bumping this mic,
that's
boys.
my
Sorry
Des
for the sorry for the mic bump.
Keep your hands to yourself, you oaf.
I've
Continue.
got Japanese encephalitis. Sorry. Brad Close for a goal, $1.36. Tomahawk for 2 goals. There's going to be plenty of argy-bargy down in Blundstone, and he loves that. $1.28. Hugh Greenwood for 20-plus disposals, $1.55. And this one's a bit of a hairy one, but obviously we know Aaron Hall is out. Tore his hamstring again. I've got a sneaking suspicion Jack Zeeble might pop up down back. Currently paying $2.30 for 20-plus disposals.
20 plus.
So if he goes back down there, all right, now this is a watch and see where he's named. If you're sitting there on your Saturday afternoon, see that he's named at halfback, jump on whatever betting agency you use and lock that in as a leg of your multi, because he's not having 20-plus disposals if he's down back. And $2.30, that's a standalone bet almost. You could just throw money at that and double it easy.
I'm feeling gooey on that. I like that a lot.
Feeling gooey.
I could find no value that I really liked in this game, honestly. You've got North, no one seems to be showing anything, and the Cats,
Who cares?
they're again, like, they just don't seem to be statting like they used to in days of yore. But, we've got to find something for the punters, and we have indeed. Tom Atkins, 15-plus disposals. He's good for it every week. He's like a baby Tom Stewart at the minute.
Is, yeah.
And I froth it. Froth it to bits. Speaking of, that great man, he's got to be in there. I can't have a Cats multi and not include Tommy Stewart for 20 disposals. Joel Selwood, 20 plus as well. I think he's arguably been the most consistent performer in that midfield this year.
And isn't that sad? Because I mean, he you know, in terms of his career, he's circling the drain. This is probably his last season, and he's still their best midfielder. Due to a few different mitigating factors, yes. But fundamentally, the result is that, he's arguably their best mid at the minute. Joel Selwood for 20. And I honestly think that the wind tunnel is going to be in effect down there. I think it's going to be typical Tasmanian just atmosphere at that ground. The Cats haven't played there too often, as we said, only one game. I see it going unders. I'm going the under 166.5 points. And I think the last time they played down there, which was last year, it ended up only being about 80 or 90 in total. So that's an easy one for me. Yep. Excellent.
Yep. Now, bit of froth on this one.
Sunday's game.
Bit of
Everyone's
Pineapple Cup, mate.
the pineapple
grapple. Everyone's favourite game on
They
the
call it
calendar,
the
mate.
Pineapple Grapple.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Well, we do.
Yeah. And we're trendsetters. We're
That's
opinion formers.
I like that.
Yes, sir. We are, of course, talking about the Gold Coast Suns squaring off against the Brisbane Lions up in Metricon Stadium. Desi, it's the Q Clash. Q Clash number 58. Get excited.
Gold Coast were just victims last week.
It was a bit of
They were just
that.
victims, hey. They weren't. They weren't.
Again, you wouldn't hear
that-
that. No, but you wouldn't hear that sort of analysis on Fox, would you?
No.
Imagine Jared Waitley being there. Gold Coast Suns, just victims, eh?
They were victims last week, and
kinda rocked
they
up
had
here,
obviously had a great win 2 weeks ago against
Wow.
Carlton. But they were victims of St Kilda's the steam train that is St Kilda.
I would disagree with you,
ran
though.
straight
I think
through.
that was a pretty valiant loss for them. They
Oh,
were,
no,
they were in
for
it all
them.
day. They were in it all day.
That's
until
what
the
I
last
mean.
quarter,
That's what I
basically.
mean. They're victims. They weren't sitting there getting spanked and had no response. They were.
Sorry,
they were okay.
when you said victims, I just assumed you know they lay there motionless,
Oh, maybe that's
and whatever happens, happens.
awkward. All right. Oh, yeah. No more analysis.
I've thrown you off, haven't
Brisbane are winning this. No, I can't even. Gold Coast should make it close. They have had close games, obviously, with good teams like Carlton or goodish teams like Carlton, but Brisbane are going to mollywop them.
I like the word
They're
mollywop.
going to get the belt out and
And they will.
smack
They will.
some bottoms.
I like mollywop, and I intend to hear it more often on this show. Thank you. Danaher flying at the moment. Collins, you would think, goes to him, but
joint top Coleman.
I see Danaher continuing on his merry way. My worry is about this, that it's pretty fundamental. Brisbane are running games out and the Suns aren't. And you're seeing a lot from Brisbane's first and second tier players, and you're not seeing the same output from the Suns' first and second tier players. Rao, Fiorini, Powell, all high draft picks. Where's the output? Whereas blokes like Zork, who's injured and doesn't matter, wherever you put him on the field, he's contributing. McCluggage.
And
who's-
limping as well.
And
mind you.
obviously limping. And still having a massive effect.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Is Stephen Dunk gone up there or what?
Yep.
Jeez Louise. McCluggage, equally, just going about his business. You're not seeing anything of him up there.
No.
If he was in 15 other teams, he would be copping number 1 tag most weeks. Neil, enough said, in Brownlow form at the minute. And then from there, pick a bloke on the Lions list who's underperforming at the moment.
That's why
Impossible.
it's an easy tip.
It is an easy
Lions
tip.
are going to crush them.
It's Brisbane. It's Brisbane probably
Lions
25
40.
plus.
I've got Lions 40 plus.
40 plus.
I think this could be probably just about the game that breaks the Suns. I think they were, like I said, they were pretty valiant, but they're just not efficient going inside 50
That's the problem.
whatsoever. And I don't think they can improve that without Ben King.
Or Chol.
I just don't think they can.
Well, Chol isn't a great contested mark. That's his issue at the moment.
He
takes a couple.
and he's an expert of Chol. So
He is an expert at
takes a
Chol.
couple, but when you watch him, he would be a much better player if he could hold on to the footy.
As would most players.
true.
Mainly Chol, because he's
Seriously-
elite on the ground.
Seriously, good analysis from you.
It is. It is.
Yeah, he would have big hands.
Marking wins football games.
Are you aware that Chol is going to be pushing shit uphill to get ready for this game in time? He's under a bit of an injury cloud, as is Lukosius. Is that a worry for you?
I'm sad.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, no, Lions.
emotional now.
Bets.
I don't mind. Whatever the under's paying. I don't know. I don't know what the under
I'll
is.
look up the under,
Yeah, look
read
up
the
the
rest,
under.
read the rest.
Because I think this is going to be a real plucky, scrappy, niggly game. Took Miller wants blood, and I just pictured him. I picture him basically looking like the fat dad off of Dodgeball that just gets angry seeing his Asian wife being
Gordy.
L for love. L for love.
L for love
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I've got Malcolm Roses for a goal. Been in great form since he's come back into the team. Do you even know who that is?
Of course I do. He was in my fantasy team. I picked him last year. He had 15 touches last week. I think 72 fantasy points and kicked 3 goals the week before.
He has.
Don't ask me who Malcolm Roses is.
He's been very good.
Looks like a young Lionel Richie.
I just wanted to check. Yes, he does. A skinny Lionel
does look
Richie,
like a
yeah.
young Lionel Richie.
Zach Bailey for a goal. $1.44, easy money.
Like that.
Anderson, 20 plus. Does it every week, $1.24. And also Zach Bailey for 15 plus disposals, which is easy. That's $1.28. Good little fluffer.
Snacky Zacky, you've been looking over my shoulder.
There's no value in this
Snacky
game. It's
Zacky.
one of those games, again, there's just no value.
Well, the before you go, Rich, the over-under is 165.5. That's at what, 82 points each? I can see.
Suns ain't kicking 82.
No, but Brisbane,
Brisbane could.
might kick 110. That's man's worry. You feel it. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Look at your different markets on your points unders there.
It'll go over and under regarding the weather and things like it. It can go up and down.
I see it being a scrap fest. But in any case, yeah, look, I had Zach for a goal and Bailey for 15 disposals. Zach Bailey, that is, in both counts. Brisbane Lions to win third quarter, specifically. They seem to have just been quietly dominating. I think they've only lost one third quarter this whole year. And Suns seem to have a problem with consistency, so I really like that third quarter match. Betting on that one. Lockie Wowler, for our Victorian listeners, 20-plus disposals, please. Hasn't dipped under 20 all year, and I expect he'll continue. Isaac Rankin.
Spanking.
Yeah, no, just finding a little bit of form, when he's in the team, when he's not injured, etc. Anytime goal for Isaac. I think he gets up for the occasion. And in honour of the great man's 100th game. It's a special milestone on the weekend, mate. I can't say he stinks anymore. The man with the pungent aroma, Lincoln McCarthy, 100 games, notching it up the ton, lovely. Raise the bat, young son. Help yourself to an anytime goal on that one. Put all of those together, is about $8.30.
Wouldn't have said he was going to get to 100 a few years ago. Way too injury prone.
Wouldn't have said he get to 10.
Brisbane medical team is godly.
Yeah.
Godly.
Him, Cockatoo,
Zorko's playing games with one leg.
Danaher.
Amazing.
Something sus up there. Something sus is going on.
A lot of pineapples, mate.
I want to. No, I don't know. It's good. Yeah. It's good for you.
Something in that.
Yeah, so there is something in pineapples. Eat your pineapples. Eat your pineapple juice.
I
Drink
do.
it. Yeah.
That's why I am who I am.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. All right. Sunday afternoon, if you don't mind, punters, is the Richmond Tigers, who are limping back to the MCG to host the current reigning premiers, the Melbourne Demons. Dan, what do you think, mate?
Tigers season so far is like this. Look great, look terrible. Look great, look terrible.
Bussing and dipping.
They are in for a, according to their form line, in for a great game. Debatable against the Melbourne Demons, who are easily the best team in the competition right now. I don't see anyone apart from Brisbane being able to beat them at this point in the season.
They'll have an off game down the road.
They have to.
That's what I've got here. Very reminiscent of the Tigers dynasty style. They get the ball forward at all costs, no matter what the situation. It's just get that ball forward, right? And you really do need to catch them on a bad day if you're going to beat them. 22
contributors.
What kind of a game plan is that?
That's so bad.
Hope that they're going to suck.
Yeah.
Melbourne are seriously one of the. We obviously had Richmond in my lifeline and the great Hawthorn, but they're looking like one of the best well-oiled machines that I've seen.
Easily,
they could become, if they continue how they started this season, how they finished last year. Far out teams could it could be the heart's bleeding.
And
true
interesting that Jake Bowie's still never played in a loss.
That's funny.
I love that statistic.
Hasn't he?
No,
that's nuts.
No, I love that statistic.
Good,
I think it's 14 or 15 games now, no losses.
Jake Bowie actually has a big set of these ones. This is a big nutsack.
He's the good luck charm.
That's almost a rough start to your AFL career though, because at some point they're going to start coming, and it's how do you cope with it?
No, I just like the idea that they suffer a loss, and then Bowie's there in the rooms going, and no one's doing it.
Or it's just like, that's it.
Well, that's what we do.
Just like all you hear is just inconsolable weeping.
Or gets to say 3/4 time and they're getting flogged, and he just pulls it. I'm retiring. I'm not copping an L in my career. Finishing up with 22 wins, no losses. I'm done.
He's like the Bill Murray in Space Jam.
Yeah, the Floyd Mayweather of AFL. Just, I can't have this, mate. only AFL Legends charity matches for me from now on. Exhibition bouts.
Yeah, and ones that have been rigged. yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, I think you've summed it up pretty much, lads. Look, Tigers have got an ageing list with some stars that are starting to slow down. I don't see the genuine weapons coming up from underneath to push those blokes out and take the reins. Where's the Walshes? Where's the Rochelles? Just not seeing them at the minute. I think the real big one for me that really sums up where these two teams are at in terms of a matchup is right there in the ruck. Nankervis, who is banged up to high heaven at the minute. The man is struggling. Been a competitor, been a champion all the way through. Struggling big time now, and it's only going to get more difficult against a peak of his powers gone and a very, very impressive and rapidly rising Jackson. And that really sums up, that epitomises where these two clubs are at. No disrespect to the Tigers, they've been good for a long time, but the cliff edge comes sooner or later for clubs. And
not
it's
only
Melbourne.
that, the Tigers are genuinely missing Dylan Grimes a lot. Like a lot. Their defense cannot deal with tall forwards whatsoever.
And Melbourne's got him.
I'm actually quite surprised I haven't thrown Bolter back there yet. Like Ben Miller, credit to him. He's a player who's listed in an AFL team. He just can't. He can't deal with what's being thrown at him week to week. I can't see a way that the Tigers are going to kick enough points to beat the Demons.
Unless it's man on and just the nastiest physical football you've ever seen.
But even then, I feel like it's going to be one of those games. Just about every time Melbourne enters their 50, they're going to be scoring goals.
I think you're right.
I don't see a way in which Richmond can head down the other end and kick enough.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I'll be taking the over in this game.
I strongly agree.
You do your bets and I'll do my looky.
Have a little look-see there, son. Some bets on this one, Dan, if you don't
Just quickly, D's 1 to 39? Or are you tipping a flogging?
No, I think it'll be closer than...
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be, I'd say 20 plus.
Go the try bet, 1 to 15.
Yes.
Either side.
I'll go 25 plus.
Why not? Be safe.
Anyway.
Safe than sorry,
Bets?
etc. Yes,
Try
sir.
bet. So for, I'm going to
what's the
cut in
try?
Rich.
Go
So
on.
$1.50 for Melbourne minus, so they got to win by 16 plus.
Easy.
And I like that very much. Melbourne to win by 26 plus is 190.
Even that's not bad for
And
190.
the over, so 170 is the over. So over under.
Just can't trust Richmond. I like it lower. Bets. Ed Langdon. Mr. Consistent.
Hardest working man in football.
Put him in
outside Patrick Nash.
Actual true as. Ed Langdon, 20 disposals. Thanks, mum. Christian Petrarca starting to just shrug off the nightmares of Taggers gone by. Starting to get back to his best, and I like it. 25 disposals for the track attack. Gus Brayshaw, 20 disposals, please, on that other wing. The track, anytime goal. He's going to go forward out of that midfield, and who's running with him?
Yep.
No one.
He's going to dominate.
That's who.
Dominate.
Yes, sir. And little Jack Viney. He's had one goal, exactly, every single game this season. And I like to see him kick another one, please. So
would
put
like
those
that.
5 together, and it's paying about $6.30.
The only one I had different there is Max Gawn for a goal, $1.73.
Oh.
He's gonna sneak forward because that's where he's probably been playing 75% of his game time. No, sorry, I mean the other way around.
Yeah.
25-30% of his game time.
Likes a rest.
And I can't see how he's not going to kick one,
I would have
to
thought.
be completely honest with you.
Stop him.
Easy.
I'm very happy with that, Dan. I like that a lot. Like that a lot from you, mates. Now, we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. The Anzac Day clashes, of course, and I'm wearing a sort of a little, so you've got my red for your Bombers, and I've got your black and your white there.
Same, I got red and black.
I think it's actually navy blue on closer inspection. But even so,
Nothing over here,
counts.
fellas.
Red and black.
Speaking of Des, before we get into these wonderful Anzac Day games, I figured instead of making us finish on a low note, let's get the low note out now. Let's sing that low note
Let's ride out that D flat.
with Desmond's Scramble. Des?
And by D flat, I mean Des flat because it's time for the Des Scramble. I've only been doing the double Des dipper scramble. I've only got 6 questions. I've had 6 questions all year, and they've been really good. I feel like they've been good, but there's a bit of a different theme today. You're going to be very, very surprised. They're not AFL or not always AFL related. Some of them are life questions, and I'm interested to know to see what you think. But some of them will get your ticker ticking.
I've got a million swears going through my head right now.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Mine
going to
is a
start
wash.
off. I'm going to start off with you, Rich.
Yeah, go on then.
Who
Sure.
would run more in kilometres? That's the measurement on a treadmill in 10 minutes. Brad Scott or Stuart Jew? And it's an interesting question because I'm going to say on paper you'd think Brad Scott, but
Yes.
Stuart Jew is a competitive beast.
Yeah, he is. But
He's got
Don't worry about his
the
knees.
second half of that.
Don't worry about his knees.
Down
I'm not
pat.
worried about his knees. I'm worried about what the knees are carrying. All right? It's just, he'll get through, just not in the same pace as what Brad Scott. I mean, you said Chris, it doesn't matter. anyone of the last name Scott is realistically going to outrun. I love Juicy, but he's not an athletic.
So here's a little warm-up
He's
question
not Noah
for you.
Bolter. He's not
All
Noah
right, Dan,
Bolter.
I've got another warm-up question for you as well. How many push-ups can David Roden do without stopping?
Ooh, great question.
All of them.
He's a chunky monkey.
All the push-ups.
I would say 83.
It's not
specific.
actual good.
So specific.
I like
good,
it.
though.
All right,
Love
Rich. Is cereal soup? Why or why not?
Like the gears of my mind that were just churning away there, all of a sudden, like genuinely threw a rod. Everything just fell apart because I wasn't expecting that.
Is it soup or not?
All right. Well, give me the. What is the definition of soup? What's Google got to say about it? Soup. A liquid dish, fine. Typically savoury. Well,
Just typically, though.
yeah, it does. And made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables in stock or water. So there you go. If you had meat flakes instead of corn and you had water instead of milk, then I would say yes.
There is an idea for a cereal.
Meat flakes. And a Brock Lesnar on the front.
That's what Tom McDonald eats on the carnivore diet.
It's not soup.
Okay,
not
I
soup.
like that question. And my next one was why or why not? You've answered that. Dan, is there any conspiracy theories that you 100% believe in, but we will bully you for believing in it?
That I believe in that you bully me.
Yeah,
for
is there any
believing in it.
is there any that will bully you? Like, like people like that diss on like aliens and stuff. But like funnier
Well,
content.
Do you subscribe to any conspiracy theories? I don't know.
What about you,
I
Rich?
don't think you do. I know you reasonably well. I don't think you do. You're too sensible for that.
I love conspiracy theories, but generally I can rationalize my way out of them. I wouldn't say there's any that I believe in that you would bully me for. No, that's a bit of a boring answer, but I just don't think there is.
What about TikTok is actually a Chinese psyop? What about that?
No.
No?
I think TikTok, and I'm included in this, it's just an app for mindless idiots.
There's a bit of that.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And
I
that's,
love TikTok.
Like, I don't think there's any malicious intent behind it. I just think it's, the next evolution of Vine, which, by the way, I miss.
Vine was the tits, man.
All right. So I've got two questions left.
Just
One
quickly,
of them is...
just quickly. Do you have any conspiracy theories you believe in?
No.
No?
I mean,
we'd tease you for.
that you tease. Like, there's a ton that I'll listen to, but no, none that I believe hand on heart. No.
You? We bully you anyway, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared of ghosts in the dark.
Jeez. A conspiracy theory. Yeah, sure. I don't know how George Bush features in that, but
Hitler went to Argentina. I'm pretty sure about that.
we'll talk about that afterwards. Come on.
All right. Well, I've got a question. Both of you boys. One has to have an absolute doozy of a question, and one has to have a...
If the question is how did Hitler get to Argentina, I'll punch you in the face.
It's not. Do you know what? You're going to
Summary.
get the doozy now because you're going to punch me. All right, Dan, I'm going to ask you another question. What mythical creature is Hawthorn, and what mythical creature is Carlton in their 2022 form? Mythical creatures.
Mythical creatures.
This one's so easy. It's such a layup.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
All right, then you answer it, Rich, and then Dan's going to get the shit question.
No, I'm a good bloke and a good friend.
That is a pun.
I'm a good bloke and a good friend.
Mythical creatures. Yep. I would say at the moment, Carlton is like the phoenix being reborn from the ashes. Hawthorn, Loch Ness Monster, just a mirage.
Interesting.
What would you say?
I was going to say Hawks are like a phoenix.
Okay.
Like hit the bottom and all of a sudden just boinging straight back
I think
up.
that's Carlton though.
And I was going to say Carlton's like one of those chimeras from Greek myth. It's just a whole heap of monsters just stapled together and breathe. Basically looks like the Simpsons cat when Bart had those magical psychic powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Carlton for mine. But
What's
was your question?
What's the shitter?
It's about toilet paper. It's about
So literal shit.
toilet paper. Overrated, underrated.
God, this.
Underrated, man. Toilet paper's underrated as. Toilet paper is one of the best inventions. Mankind would not have progressed as far as it had we not had dunny paper, man. Consider if an apocalypse hit tomorrow, right? The things that you should be hoarding as much of as you can immediately is toilet paper and toothpaste.
What's the one thing that goes when the corona hits?
Yeah.
TP.
Yeah, but that just means people are stupid as opposed to
Will Smith.
toilet
I'm gonna
paper.
have a Will Smith plug here.
Underrated as man.
Will Smith plug before we go on to the Anzac Day games. Will Smith said he does not use toilet paper. That's funny, your reaction.
Well, you could use wet wipes,
Baby
bidet.
wipes.
Yeah.
He uses baby
I've
wipes.
heard that.
It's actual. One time when I went to
probably cleaner,
when I went
yeah.
to Bali, all I used was baby wipes, and my tuchus has never felt better.
Yeah, but then how did it dry? Because the baby wipes are obviously damp.
Mate, I was in Bali. I was already wet.
Yeah, but I assume
It was
Will.
already a wet storm down there.
Wouldn't you
mate.
be just like squelching around after,
Nah,
like just
nah,
a
it's
damp
not-
feeling back there?
Yeah, but it's not wet. It's clean.
No, I know it's clean, but it's still damp
And
feeling
I
back
also
there.
had street food, and it was already dirty. It was already dirty.
I think that is enough of this conversation.
That is the worst question he's
Look,
ever asked.
I love you blokes. This is going exponentially longer than we would have
Yeah,
wanted
let
it
it.
to.
It's Anzac Day.
Nah. Someone's gonna be the voice of reason here.
Don't bother.
That's me.
Don't bother.
It is
Right.
not you.
Anzac Day down at UTAS. 2 games in Tasmania on the same weekend. Who would have thought? Hawthorn Hawks hosting the Sydney Swans. Boys, because Dan's getting hot under the collar, I'm going to punch this one out for you. Both teams have got no genuine ruckman. And I say that because I like Pete Laddams, but he's a pinch-hitting Jenkins. Hawks, 52 wins, 17 losses at UTAS. Sydney, only 1 from 1. Interesting. Hawks, huge win over Geelong, and I honestly think that carries over. I'm tipping the Hawks.
Des Dog of the Week. Hawks are winning. They are the Des Dog of the Week, baby.
Wow.
I saw it in
I'm
the
tipping-
corner of your paper.
Wow.
Des
tipping the
Dog
Hawks.
of the Week.
I'm
Wow.
tipping the
Winning in
Hawks.
Tassie.
Shock. Yeah, I'm tipping the Hawks.
Sydney are
Wow.
destined to have a down week, and they're going to have a down week in Tassie. Hawks are going to get up. They're going to ride that momentum.
Wow.
I'm going Hawks. I'm not being wacky. I'm so behind the Hawks this week. It's not funny.
We just came off watching the Hawks have 2 awful weeks of football prior to that Geelong game.
I don't care.
Des Dog of the Week, baby.
Wow.
How you finish is how you start.
Wow.
Swans did it easy against the substandard Eagles. They're travelling to Perth and then to Sydney and
travel
then
will
to
get them.
Tasmania. Hawks. I'm not being wacky. I'm so far
Hawks
behind.
will fire
it's not
up
funny.
here, and then watch them the next couple of weeks. They will be toast.
I
They'll be done.
have said wow a lot in this segment. Just once more.
Owen Wilson.
Wow.
It's a mind meld. It's a mind meld.
Don't you feel stupid for melding with him though?
No, he's melded with me. I'm on, mate.
I don't like that at all. Look, I'm going to be tipping the Swans here because I think they're a better football team than Hawthorn.
Get a load of this guy, you know?
Yeah.
Can't wait to climb
football
on
team.
top of the tips even more.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Look, in saying that though, I actually had written here consistency is the issue for the Hawks. We've seen 2 great games followed by 2 awful games followed by a great game. So
Yeah. 2.
Yeah.
Quick maths, mate.
yeah, you've told me more than once these streaks are made to be broken, and I feel like that's about time to happen. Sydney's a very good football team.
They are. I agree.
So I look, just quickly, is Heaney a smoky for the Brownlow at this point?
No.
Averaging 3 goals a game and 20 touches.
No.
Nah, but
That's
he's
pretty
a
impressive.
good-looking rooster.
That's
Yes.
That's impressive.
Good
It
looking
is, but
bloke.
no, it's the answer.
Why?
I don't have time. Don't have time. The pod's dragging on. Don't have time.
Good.
Yeah, cop that.
Excellent. All right.
Hawks.
Bets then.
Yeah. Do you want to go? Do you want me?
Yeah, sure. I've got Heaney for 2 goals. Dylan Moore for a goal. Because he's been... Why would you laugh at that?
I knew how many times I could do it. And he's
I've got written here. Didn't even go through it. At the moment, he's the All-Australian small forward.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely
100%.
dominant. And still paying $1.30 for an anytime goal. That's
beautiful.
easy money.
That's beautiful.
James Sicily coming off the best game of his life. 20 disposals, $1.32. And Callum Mills for 25, $1.33.
No,
That's fine. I can't wait for you to read the exact same bets that I just read out.
there's a couple of cutlers. We're
Yeah,
playing a bit of
I
bingo
would've
here.
thought, yeah.
James Sicily, 20 plus. Thank you. Dylan Moore, anytime.
Yeah,
Thank you. Reaping what I sowed here. Pete Laddams, 20 disposals. That's a real risky one.
It
That's
is.
paying over $2 by itself. Hawks' one sole ruckman in Ned Reeves has gone down. Who's left?
Max Lynch.
Yeah, exactly. I think Laddams is going to have a day. Had 24 last week, thanks. James Rowbottom, of all blokes, 15
naughty.
disposals. He's not gone underneath that this year. Harry Morrison, same deal. 15 disposals for him in the Hawks side of things. And then my goal scorers, McLean and Hayward for the Swans, anytime goal scorers. They've been doing me well this year, and I'll ride them until I can't no more.
Even though
$8.50, put them together.
I love Will Hayward. Just to finish off.
I'm really sorry for anyone that was listening on the pod.
Nah,
hearing
don't
that,
be.
because
Yeah,
that
you are
is-
now deaf.
Don't be.
That is
Good.
vile. It's the big one. Anzac Day at the G. Essendon Bombers versus the Collingwood Magpies. You know what it is, boys. Dan, Des, fight it out. Someone's going first?
This is normally a close game. I know there's been some blowouts in recent.
And you've got the black and red on, so clearly you're tipping an Essendon blowout.
Clearly, I'm tipping the Pies to run it wild. It's going to be a bit of a blow. I think this is going to be a bit of a showcase for Collingwood. I hope it is, and I believe it will be because they are just the better team at the moment. Essendon are. Can someone fill in the blank here? It's going to be a Mad Lib. Essendon are. Yeah. There you go.
Sorry again for anyone listening.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm a hot
There
baby.
you go. No, I don't want to diss on them because if you're an Essendon fan, you already have to watch it enough.
You know what's going on.
No, good. I think Pies too good. Young players are fantastic. It's actually enjoyable watching Collingwood, and I'm glad they're doing well. And just going to add another W onto the tally.
It's a big marquee game, Dan. Big marquee game, and the Pies have got too many blokes in their side still that know what this day is all about.
Yep.
That cream rises to the top time and time again. It will again on the weekend. You're going to see Crisp. You're going to see Pendlebury. You're going to see Sidebottom. You're going to see Grundy. You're going to see Moore. You're going to see Myercheck,
Adams,
who's back. You're going to see
Ginny.
Adams.
The boy.
I'm just saying all these blokes.
the
The oldies.
experience
They have
I'm just so
done these
excited at
to
this
death.
This young kid.
And then you're getting the young blokes like Ginnivan coming in. Then you're getting your young blokes like Dacos coming in. And they are going to
Double Dacos dippers. That's what they're called. The
They're
triple
going to
Ds.
froth this occasion. I
thought Reece McInnes was great on the weekend. He was their most dangerous forward. I thought Nathan Kruger was fantastic.
Crew.
Yeah.
Don't you love to hear that
Yeah.
when he
Don't
gets it every time?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, and he's got a lot of shit about him. He's a big boy, super athletic, and he loves a scrap.
Remember when it was like $1.70 in his comeback game? Anytime goal?
Yep.
All right, he's not paying that now, I'll tell you that.
No, sorry, Bob.
He is paying $1.40 though, I can tell you that.
It's not bad.
And I'll be taking that.
Oh, we're taking that too. Crew.
Bombers still haven't tidied up their defensive issues, still leaking the most amount of points of anyone, and that's a giant
I did see
concern.
something from Fox Footy today. They're virtually 18th in every defensive statistic you can possibly
Crazy to see that
imagine.
because they finished off last year relatively well.
There's no other way to put it. They stink.
And that's weird because Ben Rutten, one of the Crows' best ever backmen.
Yep. And they don't have their defense on paper is not that bad.
Yeah.
Jake Kelly is not a bad defender. Jordan Ridley is not a bad
yeah.
defender. Mason Redmond is not a bad defender, but they all suck right now.
It's a bit weird. No,
Terrible.
look, it's a layup, I think. Collingwood 1-39 for mine. They're going to work their guts out, and you're going to see a really good game if you're a Pies fan. Bets, yes, I do have them. Thank you for asking. Josh Dacos 20+, Nick Dacos 25+.
Yep.
Jackie Crisp in there for 25+ as well. And then I'm looking at big Patrick Lipinski for 20 disposals. Don't know why he's big. He just said big because I could. Your man, Nathan Kruger, for an anytime goal. And my man, Nick Martin, on the Bombers side of things for an anytime goal
right,
as well.
Nick Martin.
Yeah,
Put
same.
them together, 650.
He loves a goal too.
It's just, he's
always hanging around.
He's a little bit of light in the turd
an
that is
actual
Essendon.
smoky for the rising star.
For the Brown line.
Yeah, well, yeah, no.
Someone's going to get 3 votes.
Why not?
I think that's it.
Did you have any bets? Did you see your bets?
You talking about mine?
All of them?
I've got nothing left.
Clean sweeped him. Clean sweeped him, man, and that is us. We are done for another week. We should be back for round 7. Yes, indeed. Just that way. Yeah, it's that way. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, yes. Jump on the pages at Armchair AD on Insta, Armchair Advisors on Facebook. Gamble responsibly. Check out Multi-Hub. It's a ripping app. I think you'll like it. Oh, fellas, beers. I'm off for a beer. What do you reckon? Beers?
Absolutely.
Beers.
Brewskis and a Mishka for Des.
Yes.
See you then, boys.
Yes.